Hello there, Nick Davis here. Welcome to my next retrospective walkthrough of White Dwarf. In this case, it's going to be number 234, June edition from the UK. This is going to be a fantastic little walkthrough. Looks like we've got the vampire counts coming, so I'm excited to crack open this sucker and take a look inside. But before we get started, I want to say, if you want to see me do more of these retrospective walkthroughs, or want to support my work in cartooning with the Night Guardians, please check out the link below for my Patreon. $1 gets you in, you get free exclusive access to some brand new comic strips, and you get to see what I'm going to be doing in the future for basically the Night Guardian books. Also, if you want to check out the Night Guardian books, go to your local Amazon website and type in the Night Guardians by Nick Davis, and you will probably find my books on there too. Anyway, with no further ado, let's crack this open and take a look at what's inside. This is the Vampire Counts covers by Jeff Taylor. That's a Jeff Taylor piece there. That's really nice. I really like the hues and the blues in that. As you can see, the contents here has changed a lot. We're still basically experimenting with formats to see what will cut loose. We're basically heavily influenced at the time by the other demographic magazines at the time, which would be FHA, Maxim, and such like Esquire, and we're trying to make this more punchy and make more people look at it. We're doing a bigger regiment pieces here. 40k's got more miniatures going in it, and we even have a Corilla the Vile, which is, I'm going to guess, a Dark Eldar character, I guess. Yeah, Dark Eldar's got those weird things coming out of her hands. And also we've got the vampire counts, which means we turn the skeleton regiments, and it's really quite a little neat spirit host there. Watch out for this blood splatter though, you can see it throughout the entire magazine. Right, let's take a look at what's going on, shall we? First off, we start with the news section. Yep, blood splatter again, like you can see this very much. Much bigger and lighter. We're basically punching out the white space more, making bigger graphics than we did before. As you can see, we look at the White Dwarf blokes here, Paul's still around. I am now defending the White Dwarf tomb, and apparently I am right. Graham David is a wraith. Simon Shuker is a ghoul, well said. Ian Compton's a banshee. Dude, that guy was so white, he basically disappeared against a white wall. Matthew Hudson, one of our new hires, was Lurch. Guy was really tall. And Matt Nichols, vampire doesn't count. I'm going to actually say something really horrible about this. I don't remember anything about Matt, so I don't think he's around for too long. And I'm sorry, Matt, if that's completely wrong, but I'm sorry, mate. Maybe you moved on to... I think you probably went down to the Journal, if I remember rightly, in the end. Anyway, let's look at the vampire count stuff. We look at vampire armies, vampire counts. That's a completely new header there, so you can see. We've got rid of the Warhammer armies. It's looking very gothic. I should be playing Adam's Family music, especially when you look at the black coach there. Brand new combat sets. It's top trumps, but with elves. Black Library news. Start of the Imperial armor stuff. This is the Forge World stuff. Look at that. Different tanks. That's a Conqueror, if I got that right. Yeah, it's a Conqueror. And that's interesting stuff coming up there. Japan's opening up, so if you spoke Japanese at the time, you could get a job against Russia, Japan, which had a whole 3 people, I believe, at that time. Next issue is going to be very special. It's going to be Codex Assassins. I actually have a sealed copy of this and an unsealed copy of this, so we're going to be talking about in my next White Dwarf retrospective walkthrough. Codex Assassins 3 with White Dwarf 235. I can't remember how that was put together. I think that had something to do with it. And it looks like we've got some Orc Boys coming up, some new Orc Boys, plastic ones. That's based off the Gorkham Orc Boys. And over the other page here, after some Des Hanley pieces of artwork, we have the vampire counts. Nice little blood splatter going on there again. Thomas Perrin, who had a lot to do with the vampire counts, there's a walkthrough about what this is all about. That's a nice little vampire count army there. I would say it's limited by what the heavy metal painters paint for the box sets, but it's still a nice little army. A little look at the black coach here. I'm sorry, every time I see this, I get what it is and I understand, but I always sort of think, dum bum bum, dum bum bum, bum bum. Every time I see it, I can't help it. I'm sorry, I just can't. Interesting shot of the backpack pieces here. We don't normally show backs of units like this. That's not a very dramatic shot, is it? Yeah, we probably could have done a better angle that way, so we might have pulled it from the Vampire Counts book itself. See, blood splatter again. Yeah, and then again, it's showing basically, let's have a big blood splatter there, and then black text right on top of it, and we don't reduce this by another 20%, so we can't really read what's going on there. This is by, who did this one? It's Alessio. I think this one done by Alessio. Basically, we're highlighting the characters of the vampire counts. Vampire counts are really easy because we're really an odd army because technically speaking, yes, they're evil and nasty, but they also were elector counts as well. So they had an ambiguous status in the Empire at that time. neither good nor bad. More like looking after their self-interest is probably the best way to describe some of them. So we go through basically the Von Carsteins, which is basically, you know, Dracula, the Draculas. Then you have the Blood Dragons, which is the warrior guys, and the Lamaya, which are the females, and the Nekua, which are basically the more closer to the Nosferatu type vampires they expect. Necromancers, that looks like a repainted Colours of Magic wizard there, and Wraiths and White Cavalry. So, it's, you know, looking at these units here, everything you expect from a traditional undead army is actually you'll find in a vampire count army, including the die wheels, which was thought was a nice touch. And I really do like these Spirit Hulch miniatures. Like, yay, look at this, we're the wavy guys. Turns the page over. More splatters and vampire parts. I don't know why we took the bases out of that. We really should have kept them in there because, you know, let's make sure that people know these are toy soldiers. And my particular favourite, the Zombie Dragon. Now, I started Games Workshop when basically the first Zombie Dragon was probably about 5-6 years old. I really, really loved that miniature. This was a nice update for it, but I still think it wasn't zombie enough, wasn't falling apart, decay enough like the other Zombie Dragon was. Then we have the Black Coach, and then we have the Heinrich Himmler in Krell. I actually kind of like that Necromancer, that's a really nice. Not too sure about this one though, Dark Lord of Nagash's Krell. It's suffering from basically the casting limitations at the time using white metal, so everything was basically a plain on type piece. The Order of Everlasting Fire. This is, let's look at, what's that? That can't be much. It's 1,995 points. I don't know why we made that so small there. And it's a nice little vampire army, I guess, considering the limitations we have by using the toy soldiers in the heavy metal cabinet. Not sure how effective it will be in a fight, but we'll find out later on because there's actually a battle report featuring the vampire counts in this issue too. Rings of Darkness, Alessio Cavatore takes a look at the vampire counts army and the dawn position of basically dealing with them. Yep, they are a pain to do, mainly because they keep coming back up, right? Knights of Blood, Thomas Sapari talk again. Exclusive to White Dwarf, over the coming months we will be bringing you expanded background for the 4 vampire bloodlines and the vampire counts in the army books. This month, Thomas talks of the Blood Dragons, ancient beginnings in Limar, and their founding vampire lord, Wash the Blood. These are basically the big old warrior vampires. Really nice, actually. Well, the background's really nice, but I never really like the miniatures. But the Red Duke's a nice one, but a lot of them are basically very much, again, plain on type things. And again, we're using these back shots here. If this was me, I would have cropped in more, so you see over the tops of the troops and you'd see the guys down there. But that's just me. Nice piece of atmospheric artwork there. That's a nice little army there. Blood Dragons Vampire Count army with the army, again, pulling out different elements of it, repainted plastic rules and that kind of thing. I'm just giving you a look at how these armies come together. It really is like a mismatch though, because you've got skeleton warriors, oh, then we've got to put some, you know, zombies in there, oh yeah, and we've got the ghouls, let's put the ghouls in there because they transfer across, and so on and so forth. I don't know how effective this would be as an actual army myself, but I guess we'll find if we basically turn the page when we get to the battle report. More Dark Eldar, because Dark Eldar is still a fairly current army. Swift Death here. Gavin talks about how to use Dark Eldar effectively. And yes, the one thing you get out of this is move very fast. They're fast and fragile. He talks about how to use witches in here. I will go on record and say I was never very good at using witches. And I had basically, my armies were more like use of warriors and striking heavily, fast and hard with a couple of Dark Eldar raiders full of basically shot combat troops like the Incubi and the Archon's bodyguard. And it gives you like any idea how to basically fight each type of force. I would tell you from my experiences, I basically took out the centre as fast as I could, jumped in, and just tore things apart. You can guarantee when you fight with Dark Eldar, you're pretty much going to get the initiative most of the time. And if you've got the Incubi and your Archon into close combat as fast as you can, you will tear a hole through an army. Then you just basically sit back and shoot the edges with the splinter cannons, which basically would decimate units. They really are. That's how I'd use them. Fast firepower, not moving, fast fire base, fast moving assault, and keeping it mobile, and go into a flank and chew it apart. Inferno ad from Black Library. We've talked about basically these to death. We have Paul Handley's Dark Eldar here. I really like his Archon here. That's a really nice looking miniature. Deep purple is his army. It's a very nice army. It's actually very pretty. I like his Talos is really nice there. It's got bikes in it, so he must have figured out how to use them. And he's got a big unit of witches here, and a small unit of warriors. I would have gone for more warriors over witches, but that's just me. But it's got a really heavy, good use of incubi there. I think my incubi didn't have any heavy portable weapons in it, because I felt the best use of these guys was getting assaulting as fast as you can. Not doing any armor busting. That's what you got the Dark Lancers on the front of the Raiders for, and that's how I use my army. But it's a nice army, isn't it? I really like that Archon. Let's have a quick look on the camera, shall we? Let's see if we can bring it to the camera so you guys can have a look at it. This way. Look at that. That's really nice. I really like that. I think it's a really nicely converted plastic miniature with a metal cloak, I believe. Okay, make sure this is nice and centered in the camera. Yes, it is. We'll keep going. Boxing Clever, Paul Sawyer talks about how to use box sets to build up your armies, and it's actually a very nice little army actually. They're using the box sets to build a very quick and relatively cheap army for like £36, which will make out to be about $50 US back in 1999. I have no idea how much that'll cost you nowadays though. Actually, I can't remember. Did he actually put this article together, or was this an advertorial and somebody else put it together and he put his name on it? I think somebody else put it together and he put his name on it. As much stuff as you can with the Great White Dwarf Game Reader Survey. I can't remember if this came through or not. I don't think we ran a second feature saying who won, but this was an interesting competition. Red Rage, looking at a Khorne army by Ian Deary. That's a nice little army there again. Beautifully painted. Really nice. And look, there's an old the Juggernaut of Khorne. An old Juggernaut of Khorne. Wow. Nice use of the movement you can get out of the Chaos Dreadnought there. Oh dear, poor old Ultramarines. They always get it, don't they? Always to the head. This is nicely done. It's actually shot a bit strangely. I've got a funny feeling this is a US army, judging by the way it's shot. I think it's not done by a regular studio flat camera. Let's see if we can get a bit quick clue about it. Lincoln Games Workshop store. So I guess we shot it on the flat camera, but it doesn't look like it has, because this would be tighter and more focused, I guess. It looks like it's been shot at a weird angle. Very weird angle. Okay. Mercenary Generals, this was laid out by me, by Mr. Stillman. We're talking about various different mercenaries mercenary generals you could put into your Dogs of War army. Humans, dwarfs, orcs, that's right, orcs, hobgoblins, high elves, dark elves, ogres. Fantastic, eh? I think this is a really cool way of basically pointing out how different Dogs of War armies can be. The only thing I said the biggest failing of the Dogs of War book was basically you can put together a mercenary unit of your own, like saying, make it humans and orcs or whatever, and equipment however you want with basically hand weapons. I think that's the only failing of the book. But the reason of the book was to add more character to Warhammer armies, or to Warhammer itself, and give you these nice regiment renowns, but I still would have put the foot unit element of you better mix and match, which you can with these as well. And I believe this comes with points you can buy for your mercenary general to make him, a little bit more special. Like he could be cunning, he could be a veteran, and that kind of thing. And look, this is so old. I still have the insert for Scandinavia trade sales. Nothing to share UK based. Swedish, Sweden, Finland, and Dutch. Oh, Holland then. Okay, wow. I had no idea this was in here actually, but there we go. Converting your generals. We'll look at some conversions, how to convert your generals up. That's not actually very good. But I like that there. I like the fact that basically you get these options to basically convert your generals. There's 2 orcs we pulled out there, which is kind of neat. Don't know why. The boars look better when they're basically flat and mean like this. But this gives you an idea of how you make your armies very different with the Dogs of War. We'll put this back in here so I can look at it again probably another couple of years' time, or if I sell the issue, somebody else can go, wow, look at that. Bernie Wilbur, Simon Shuka, he looks like Chaos Bikes. Spiky bits, yeah. I like this to here where they took the fairings off. They give them like a almost scramble bike feel to them. I like that. Actually, I really do like that a lot, actually. So now we're looking at Dark Elder Weaver jetbacks. It basically goes through all the different type bike pipes you can get. Do some tactics about how to use them from various gamers. Dark Elder Weaver jetbacks, the fastest in the battlefield. This is by me. And numerical swarm, such as Outlord. I guess a lot of times like Imperial and Tyranids, they get assigned to an escort wall. I used them basically when I had to use them, when I had a smaller army, to basically be, get in the way of my raiders getting shot. So they were chaff. I really had no real good ability to use these things. And I had a splinter guns, so basically what, strength 3, one shot. Yeah, really weird. But you know, they worked here and there, and they were good they were actually a good counter for jet bikes. I give it that. Games Workshop action every store. All the special events are going at the time. Obviously, it's Vampire Count month, so we're talking about undead stuff. A lot of section actually. This is actually 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, big section there. Retail management positions. Yeah, the joke about red shirts and Star Trek do apply to retail, and those who've worked Games Workshop retail who watch this videos will know exactly what I'm talking about. Once you 90% geek. Got much better after the 2000s, I believe, but oh my god, the turnover for these positions was so high. It was insane. It really was insane. Mailbox is still here, though it's about to go away. Star letter, that kind of thing. 2 pages here. We still could have shrunk the font up a little bit more. We're still putting too much of the lettering in here, and we should have gone for extracts looking back. But you know, hindsight is 2020. Jane's fighting ships, the Gothic sector. This time we look at orc ships. Look at them, old terrorist ships, kill cruisers, that kind of thing. I still think orc ships shouldn't be uniform looking at all, but I get why we did it for the game to sell them. They should be like, you said, here's your front pieces, your back pieces, the middle bit, here's a couple of other bits and pieces, and you just build your own and kind of call them a cruiser or a terror ship, whatever you want. That's how I would have done it. That's just me. So we're looking at basically the orc ships here. They're actually fun to fight against. All the firing power is at the front now, so if you get behind them, you just blow them to pieces. And then we've got some upcoming stuff here. Space Marine Battle Barge is appearing. It's actually the Space Marine Strike Cruiser. And we have another Chaos Repulsor class here. God, these Chaos ships are so overgunned. But they really look neat little Imperial transports here. I think we missed a trick by not releasing some of the Imperial Gothic ships, which are basically based off the old Traveller ships, if anybody remembers that game. And we should have mixed them all together and thrown them in there and just see what happens. But again, some of those old Traveller ships are probably very hard to cast as well, especially the tankers. Overhand here. Company of Ravens by Ian Compton. We're talking about Dark Angels. I almost said Dark Elder there. Following last month's release, Coldest Dark Angels, reinforcements have arrived and both the forces, the most sinister of Space Marine chapters as the Master Wavering screams across the skies in his specially modified land speeder. Yes, his Reliant Robin's land speeder. Why would the Master of the Raven Wing go have a land speeder? Wouldn't he want it to be on the ground where he could be more effective? I don't know. But it looks nice, doesn't it? I mean, look at that. It does look nice. I mean, you know, it looks like a Robin Reliant, obviously. And those of you who are US friends who watch these videos, you should look up Robin Reliance in Google and marvel at the wonders of British engineering at that time. Record breakers! This article was very different. We did journalism. Yes, I did. I went over to Scarborough for 2 days to basically record the biggest, largest Warhammer game ever. These guys here was at this time 688,000 total gaming points used in this game, was over 2 million points. Largest 28mm fantasy battle game recorded. They were fantastic. This guy was fantastic. We were actually just there. Kelvin Pickup, I believe it or not, that was his name, Kelvin Pickup, organised this game. There's Kelvin just there. Really, they did a fantastic job. I even played a little bit here, took some pictures of the gaming over the head. This is beautiful ground root stuff. I wish we could have done some more of this stuff, but we didn't really hear about these things that much, unfortunately. But yes, I got an all expenses paid trip to Scarborough. I kid you not. But I know you what, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed reporting on it and talking about it. Made a nice double page spread. And again, this is what I always wanted to get down to the nitty gritty in White Dwarf, was show gamers gaming. And look at that. It was better than that, eh? Over 2 million points. Can you see that, guys? Look at that. That's insane. Battlefield Gothic War still going on in the stores. Black Library Open Day. Games Workshop Exhibition Centre, which I think is now called Warhammer World, if I remember rightly. Vampire Count's Army of Andy Foster. Now that's an army. Look at that. That's an undead army that can do some damage. Like this little White Lord here, this Tomb God. It's really cool. Like some nice little close-ups here. Christine, the former sorceress, was turned to vampirism by the other Slayer. That's a nice use of the Bretonnian sorceress there. He really, and the Green Knight. Oh, look at the Green Knight. We converted into the Dead Knight. That's beautiful. I like that. That's good use of toy soldiery. That really is. Chapter approved, which is basically we bring in some Space Rules updates, because Space Rules is around the corner, but we're going to beta test a little bit more rules with you guys, just to see if we can get some things right. As you can tell, we're using the Terminator armor, the space roof guards down there. As you can tell, it's old school, red flamer. And we're looking at the bits and pieces here. The Grey Knights, no mages for Grey Knights at this time, apart from the old Terminators, and they were looking really small compared to the new Terminators. But this is, again, we're beta testing, trying new rules out. That's the point of chapter approved, to give you some extra options in your games. Almost Rogue Trader-ish like. Putting the zap into Zinch, talking about, how to make Zinchy more Zinchy. Some Q&As to cover some of the weirder things you may encounter whilst playing Warhammer 40k. This is 3rd edition, by the way, just so you guys know. Philosophy Corner about how to play your games and have fun with it. Kazum Berserkers by Fred. We're throwing some weird stuff in here. It's like, hey, look at these new toy soldiers. Look at this, fantastic. Hey, look at these Valhallans over here. March into battle and that kind of thing. So we're throwing things left, right, and centre, giving you toy soldiers. And look at this, bang, bang, bam. We're taking design tips and looking at how other magazines were presenting information at that time. And it's very much just what we were doing here. Segmenting, pushing it in your face, almost connected tangentially, and giving you different things to read. Every time you'll come back to the page, you'll find something new to look at. Ruined! Yay! Another one by me. This is using the 40k Ruins. Look at that. This is a terrain article by myself. I think the Ruins lived in the studio when I left to go to the US. They might still be around, who knows. This is basically talking about how I use these ruin pieces to basically build bigger buildings and make more silly stuff. As you can see, the plastic bits going on here. This was, let's see, that was coarse turf, which you could get at the times. I'm not quite sure what it's called here in the UK. US, it's coarse turf, which I stuck to the pylons here, the pillars here, using white glue, or wood glue as we got in the UK, or PVA glue, and then basically painted watered down white glue over the top of it to stick it into place, and came nice and solid, like a big solid mash, so you could paint over the top of it. So this was actually a lot of fun to do. As you can see, it's my traditional sandy bases over flock, which I do a lot more of. The Imperial Storehouse was from a packing container I had. I can't remember what was in there, but I thought they made good little domes. If anybody remembers Rogue Trader in the 1st edition, they showed you how to do plaster Paris domes. So I actually wanted to do that, but I couldn't quite get the plaster Paris mix right. But I found these dome pieces here, and this is like a link back to the old dome habitats you could get. They showed you how to make in the Rogue Trader books. So this is a link back to that. Here's like a burnt out hub with basically, look at the support structures on there. That's a neat little thing there. Rebels and how to make rebels and railings. Mark Jones put some interesting bits and pieces in here. And we talk about how to do weathered bronze, which is you spray your painted patch structure with black, and then give it an undercoat of jade green. To give the bronze look, you basically dry brush the entire statue with tin bits, then go over the top of it with shining gold. The pillars were cake pillars, chopped in half using a ruler, and it gives you those nice little broken stuff here. So, J-File Season 4 of Warhammer Empires. This is basically one of the Warhammer World mass games using Warhammer Empires as a gaming thing. I'm not quite sure why we heavily justified 3 columns in this, because that just makes it a bit harder to read. But this is actually reporting about real gaming stuff going on. It was just yes, this is for the actual gamers, not for the employees version. So that's pretty cool as well. Look at that, really cool. That's neat. I like that. And we talk about who the final results, that kind of thing. It's basically using Warhammer Empires, but at a bigger scale. Citadel Journal here, obviously Black Library again. Really odd thing here, and this looks odd way to start the page, but we're talking about Cruella de Cruel, the Vile here. And a bit of story about her. Another look at another army. And the reasons for this is because the Ravager's out. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 Dark Lancers. This was an extremely effective tank buster. Fragile, if you winged it, it goes down. But it did its job. Pop up. You put a piece of terrain, you pop it up, blast away 3 cannons. Whatever it hits is dead. Crystal Blood, a Warhammer battle report by Ian Compton and Alessio Cavatore. Alessio plays the Vampire Counts, and I think Ian Compton plays the Empire Forces here. That's a nice piece of artwork, like that. Interesting battle report, basically almost a standoff against standoff. And predictably, in this case, because the army's not the most effective army, because it's the heavy metal army and the Empire armies that have been built up a lot more over the years, is kind of Alessio, even though he's probably a very good gamer. Actually, 26 points to 1, but I'm pretty certain Alessio almost had nothing left at the end of the game. But it was fun. It was a fun game. Compton's a great guy. Alessio is a fantastic guy. I think he has his own gaming company in Italy now. So you should look him up if you guys look around. He has a modified chess battle game. Last time I got in contact with him, I think he got some of my terrain sitting in the background there too. Mail order. I was doing the mail order section at this time. So this is me now. We're trying to put as many toy soldiers on the page as I possibly could, because I was harping back to the days we all looked at catalogues when we were a kid and we looked at the toy sections and go, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. So let's put everything we can on the page. And that's what I did here. Even if you mentioned it, I put it in there. There's the Dark Angel Space Marines in dresses, guys. Nothing wrong with that, just they look, that's what we called them at the time. Wobbling Reliance Land Speeder Tornado, Master of the Raven Ring, who flew around in a Land Speeder for some reason, because apparently he didn't want to ride a bike. Corella Devile, there's a nice little miniature there. Dazkar, the Master of Blades, I really like that toy soldier. Yeah, it's really nice. Chaos Space Marine stuff, talking about the Chaos Marines by Squad. I really love the scrambly look at these things. They look vicious like that. That's amazing. Orc Fleet, the posters coming out, talking about zombie regiments you can get. Advanced Order Codex Orcs, it's around the corner. I know, we've got Codex Orcs coming out, and Mr. Wood no longer works for us. How sad is that? Mail order sections. Another Black Library ad to finish off the page. And we got Dave Taylor's Crimson Fists. Dave's a great guy, Australian. I actually fought his Crimson Fist on with my Dark Eldar, and I captured his commander just then. He did a fun conversion of him stuck to the front end of a Talos. Absolutely hilarious. Great guy. Miss him a bit, actually. He went over to came over to the US. I don't know if he's still doing the US, or he just went back to Australia. But that's a nice little army. How many Crimson Fist armies do you see? And that's actually a well-done painted army, and actually an effective army for fighting as well. Lots of scouts. He liked his scouts. But he was playing on the fact that basically the Crimson Fists have been almost decimated, so they're rebuilding their chapter. There we go, my friends. That is White Dwarf 234 Retrospective Walkthrough. Ba-boom! Hope you liked what you see. If you've got any questions, please leave them in the comments below. As you all know, I do answer every comment that comes through if it's a question, the best way that I can. Let me know if you want to see more of these videos as well. I put it from my archive 235 and 236. There's diminishing page views. Diminishing video views for these. If the views go down, I'm probably going to stop doing this for a while, because I have 101 other things I do for cartooning, but I really am enjoying presenting these things to you. So please like and share, hit the notification button, and follow me. And please share this with everybody that you know, and let me know what you think, okay? You guys take care. I will see you around, and by the time you see this video, I can probably say, because I'm releasing this tomorrow, is have a fantastic weekend too, my friends. Have some fun gaming, and I'll see you around. Bye-bye.